I'm going to do something a little bit crazy this time. Instead of just winging it like I normally do, I'm actually going to take a look at the instructions, see what's going on in this book, see what it has to tell me. I want to make sure that I don't mess up any of the installation, so I'm going to use this as a guide just to make sure I'm doing it properly. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You put up the track, you put up the motor, you run your wiring, and put your sensors down there and make sure everything is aligned. It's not rocket science around here, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to make sure that it's done properly and actually follow the instructions. So, let's see what this thing says to do first. So it says the first thing to do is get everything out of the box, lay it out so you can have easy access to it, and then assemble your chain drive and your track system. So that's what I'm going to do first. Lay everything out on the floor, put that together. So after you got your rail out of the packaging, get all the packaging off of it, lay your rail out, make sure there's no kinks in your chain, wrap your chain around the pulley, make sure it's down in the grooves of the tensioner, and then you're going to go into box number one, and there's a bag in there with a bunch of zeros on it, and you're going to take these here, and you can see right where they fit in, slide them over the rail, and use the nuts and bolts provided in bag 0 to connect your two junctions. You've got 2 of those to put these 3 sections of rail together. So that's what you do right now. The instructions say next to attach the garage door opener head to the rail you've just assembled. It said go back into box 1, grab bag number 1, and use 3 bolts provided to attach your rail to your motor head. Now that you've got all this connected, it says to adjust your chain tension by turning this clockwise. That'll pull tension on the chain until you got about 1/8 of an inch clearance from the rail to the chain at the midpoint. It says it is very important that you do not over tighten the chain. I would agree with that, because if you over tighten the chain, you're going to put undue stress on the motor. Okay, so the next thing you do is find your attachment point for your rail on the garage door wall over there. That wood block right there in the center where the spring attaches. And the way you're going to do that is find the center mark, measuring from one side to the middle, then from the other side to the middle, making sure you're in the dead center of the door. You don't want that track to be lopsided to one side or the other. And then what you do is bring your garage door open to where it's at its highest point, and then measure from the floor to the top of the garage door, and then put that measurement at the horizontal mark where you made your center mark. I'll show you what I mean in just a moment when I make the mark.